Okay. So we're starting out with the Texans here. I'm still going to go Derek Stinglry, I think. I just think he's too good a prospect you can't pass up at this point. We're talking top 5 corner. He has not moved at all, basically all year, except going up. To be this dominant for this long and have good testing numbers as well. I mean, you really can't sell for anything less. Really don't think you can. I mean, the only other thing I see here for the Texans is possibly going quarterback with how many people have traded up to do exactly that. I think that makes the most sense. Broncos are up on the board. They just paid the bag for basically everyone. I imagine this is still Kayvon. I don't think we're going to be looking at any kind of switching here at this point. I mean, I might get a little more crazy come draft day when I do a longer stream. I think we'll just sit with that for now. Because I do want to test out some different scenarios and see how the board falls. But today, I think this will be the last kind of what I think would happen mock without changing up some certain scenarios, like where I maybe have the Texans go QB1 and see how that changes up the draft, which is a very real possibility come draft day. So Ravens still hold 3 and 4. I'm just kind of looking around. They just traded away one of their right tackles. I think signing Evan Neal, who also fits that real power run-heavy scheme, makes the most sense. I don't see why you'd go anywhere else, especially with the decisions he's made in free agency so far. Now, I'm going to switch it up a little here because just kind of looking at what he's signed, I'm going to go Kaiir Elam right here. He has not really addressed corner at all this free agency. He has addressed that defensive line, though. So where I originally went Leal, I think this is Kaiir instead. So Saints are now up at 5. I think this is where we see the first quarterback go. Saints and Raiders have been jumping each other the whole time. They've made it quite clear that they're trying to come up with quarterbacks. So what we're trying to judge here is which one, as always. That's always the question. I don't think it'd be Carson. I don't think it would be Matt Corral. I don't think it'd be Ritter. Emery's, I think, a bit much of a project. So we're really debating between Malik, Willis, and Sam Howell here. Howell probably is the higher overall prospect and does fit the Saints better as a team. It's just whether he wants to pass up Malik Willis, who did put up insane testing numbers at both the Combine and his pro day. Just trying to judge here. I think the Saints will probably negate scheme fit and will probably take what they believe is the higher end prospect in Malik Willis. I think that makes the most sense. Raiders are up next. I know they were quite choked that the Saints jumped them for like the second time. They made 2 trade ups trying to jump them. I know they might be considering going to another position. But like Stingley and Kayvon are gone. Evan Neal is gone. He already addressed the tackle position though. Kaiir is gone. I mean, you traded up all this capital. You don't know if Mario is going to be your long-term future. I mean, at least you get a cheap quarterback. I'm probably going to say Sam Howell. I still think they go 2 quarterbacks here. They want to guarantee that the 2 best ones are off the board, or at least the 2 best ones in their mind. We'll see come draft day if some preferential picks come out. But I think that's what we're looking at. So we're looking at Jaguars up next at 7. I still think this is Kyle Hamilton. I have not seen him really address safety at all, and that locker room very clearly needs talented safety somewhere in there, if not two. I think the fact that Kyle Hamilton just happens to be here because of the quarterback race, you kind of take him and you're happy about it. You got to bring him down to the box. I think that would make most sense. We're now looking at Chiefs. I don't think Chiefs change. I think they're pretty set on getting Christian Harris. I'm just trying to think if they'd want anything else. I mean, they kind of addressed edge. They traded for Rump from me. They still have Frank Clark. They got Chris Jones and Noddy kind of playing IDL. They got Leighton Vanders, who they signed. They still have Willie Gay and Nick Bolton there, but I think Christian Harris is just one of those guys that, especially now that Kaiir Elam's off the board, I don't think you pass up on Christian Harris if you're the Chiefs in this spot. Now we're looking at Bills at 9. Bills have had an interesting offseason. They went very talent heavy very early on. So they went and got receivers. They went and did whatever deals I had to. Their edge group is still very good. They could probably, like if Christian Harris was here, that would, I think, be very tempting for them. Kaiir is not here anymore. I think that would have been the next tempting thing for them. I don't know if they want to reach down and take Booth. It's a possibility, but I don't know if that's what they'd want. I don't think they're going to go safety now that Kyle Hamilton's gone. I mean, Jordan Davis would help, but do you want to take him at 9? That's really the question. I don't think they want the O-line help. Do we see a running back in the first 10? I really don't think so. They still have Dawson Knox. Jalen Wydermyer is here. He's someone who can kind of go anywhere on the board, purely because he's just very clearly the most dominant at his position. Just trying to think a little. Maybe they just take Kenyon Green and kick him into guard in this world. He can absolutely play that. That's actually where I have him projected in real life. I think he'll play guard. That's what I'm going to pencil in here. I think Kenyon Green makes the most sense for the Bills. This early board did not really fall in their favor. I think they would have liked to see a Christian Harris or a Kyle Hamilton or a Kaiir Elam still sitting here. I think that's what they would have liked to see. That's just not how that worked out, unfortunately. Cardinals are up next. It's a new user. I haven't seen too many signings by him. Just kind of taking a look. They could use a running back. I don't know if they'll go with one this early. Oh, Tyke fell a little. That's interesting. Just taking a look right now. I mean, they need help kind of across the board. Getting a Jordan Davis to replace the 2 interior guys they missed out on. Let's do it. Let's do it. They need help on defense very badly. Let's go get Jordan Davis. The only guy with a first round definite. I think that helps. Vikings are up now. They did a swap down. I don't know if they'll be looking quarterback anymore. I mean, they could try to grab Nick Bonito and make him into Anthony Barr. He is one of those kind of prospects. He could go to there eventually. I think they'll take Andrew Booth though. That corner room needs some talent bad. So even if Booth is a bit of a reach here for them, I think he absolutely is just kind of fitting the mold of what they need. At least he'll be physical and have upside. Now looking at the Cowboys. Cowboys also need defensive help. So Booth now being gone does not help. I don't think they'll reach down to Josh Jobe or Ahmad Gardner. I don't think those prospects are as tempting for them at 12. They could go edge here. Hutchinson is still on the board. He's fallen a little out of grace, but I think that's a fun pick for them. It really helps them. I know safety is a need, but I think they'll probably they'll take the higher end prospect early here in Aiden Hutchinson. I think that makes the most sense. So now we're looking at Steelers. There looks like they're trying to sign Derek Carr, so I don't think quarterback is necessarily in the booth for them. They're looking at maybe moving on from Stephon Tuitt. He is going to be up after this year. Maybe grabbing DeMarvin Leal to rotate in, get some youth on that line. I actually really like that. He's kind of fallen to you. He was a top 5 prospect for a while. Grabbing a DeMarvin Leal, I think, is a perfect scheme fit and exactly what we're looking at for the Steelers. Eagles have a bit of an interesting situation now. Defense is what they need really bad. I mean, they lost out on all 3 corners. I think they would have been interested in early. Just kind of taking a look. This is not the spot they want to be in. I don't think they'll want to go edge. They kind of like what they've got. Linebacker would have been, I think, something that would have been tempting for them. I don't think they would have gone QB. They could go receiver here. I mean, Drake Jackson actually might fit that 3-4 that they're trying to run really well right now. That might be actually too tempting to pass up. Jordan Davis, I think, is another thing they would have liked here, but he's now gone. I don't think they'll go running back. Let's go Drake Jackson. Or am I missing something here? Oh, wait, no, I missed the player. Oh, whoopsies. I actually just realized I read that wrong. Eagles have 13 and 15. I still don't think the Eagles would pick DeMarvin. Actually, would the Eagles pick DeMarvin Leal? They got Fletcher Cox. They got Milton Williams. They don't have Hargrave anymore. So who would they want at 13 to then set up who they want to pick at 50? Yeah, I don't know if they'll pick Leal. Maybe, okay, because I forgot the Eagles pick at 13. I accidentally skipped to 14. I'm still thinking Leal will fall to the Steelers at 14. At 13, we're just going to go best receiver available, something to pair up with Devonta, and we're going to grab his running partner in John Metchie III. I think he's a great fit for them. Now we're looking at 15 with the Eagles again, with DeMarvin Leal going to the Steelers at 14. So Eagles again at 15. They just traded up. They clearly see something they like. I'm going to think that's got to be Drake Jackson. Just, they love those D-line players. They love those edge players. He fits what they're now trying to do on the edge. We're going to go Drake Jackson and just not pass up the good athlete. So we're now seeing the Texans again at 16. I think they go quarterback here. They played the long game of we'll just kind of take whatever falls. They can be looking at Emory Jones. I don't know if they have really, like, with Emory Jones, in this world, if he is actually worth that first round pick, which according to our draft board, he has been there the whole year. If he is worth that first round pick, it is going to take probably 2 years until he's ready to take over. And unfortunately, I don't know if the Texans have that long at the QB position. They might not be able to wait that long. They might only have 1 more year with Jones, and then they might let him walk. So you're looking for someone probably with high upside that is ready. Probably the year after. I don't know if they'll like Carson Strong. I don't know if he's as intriguing a prospect for them. He might be. I think Matt Corral here is a little more tempting if you're the Texans. You know he won't be ready year 1, but year 2, I think he is more likely to be ready than for comparing to Emory Jones here with what's left. We're going to go Matt Corral here to the Texans at 16. Packers via Washington. I think I'm still going to go with Chris Olave. I don't think we're going to change that up. I think that's such a good fit for them. Mini Davante Adams there. He can learn from the best for at least a year. Saints are now up again. They picked their quarterback of the future. They no longer have Cameron Jones. They still have Peyton. They still have Davenport. They probably need safety's tempting for them. Linebacker is a bit tempting for them. They could go Ventrell Miller. He's tested quite well in this world. He's moved out to a 1-2. He probably won't last there any longer if they do want him. Demario Davis is getting older. They do need tackle, but I feel like they might take the thinner position here because O-line is pretty deep in this class. Yeah, I think they're going to take the thinner position in Ventrell Miller. Help secure the future and get something that could be pricey for them later on. Browns are now up at 19. So I think the Browns would have liked Jordan Davis here. There's a couple edge players they could go with. You're looking at probably Zach Harrison or Karlaftis. I don't think it would be Karlaftis. They're pretty similar. I don't think they'll go O-line. They do need a receiver. They did trade away OBJ. If they really want to go that ground and pound game, getting someone who can hit the fade, get physical, go get Justyn Ross maybe go get Treylon Burks. Burks would be an interesting guy here. Burks probably fits the scheme a little better. I think that's what we're going to go with. All those assets have been traded away. We're going to go for Treylon Burks to the Browns here at 19. I think that makes the most sense. We now have the Lions. They're looking to trade down from this, but I'm going to consider them still there since that is yet to be approved. So Lions are a bit of a weird spot here again. You could be looking for quarterback of the future if you want to move off of Goff. You could be looking at a lot of things here. You don't really need what they have here for you. You do need interior line, but I don't think they want to pick interior line at 20. You probably could use the safety help. Jordan Battle has just been a steady riser. He's always been in that round 1 to 2, but he's just ever since lately just knocking off one guy after another, just kind of isolating himself as that premier safety. I think we're going to go with Jordan Battle here to the Lions. Help the guys over top. Right, we're at 21 now. The Jets are up. I think the Jets. Jets have a lot here. I think they figured out most of what they want to do. I'm gonna go running back. I think this is where we see the first running back go off the board, and I'm gonna go Zamir White. Zamir White has tested well. He has risen up draft boards quite rapidly. The Jets really want to establish that ground game at some point. Michael Carter is good, but you need someone who can really be that change of pace or take the front load, and I think Zamir White would be a great decision. Falcons are 22. Falcons I would also consider a running back. I haven't seen them sign any running backs. I think maybe this goes Breece Hall. They have stuff on defense to fix, but after you see one of the 1 to 2 running backs go, I don't think Kenneth Walker fits what they want to do. I don't know if you want to go Kyron Williams and have him be the lead back. I think Breece Hall is kind of the last lead back that potentially fits what they want to do as a team that is left here. So I think that's what we're going to do. This free agency running back class has not been spectacular, so you kind of need to take these guys early if you need a lead back. Lions are up again. Lions just took Battle. I think now with how the board has fallen a couple more times here, taking a quarterback wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't think Emory Jones fits what he wants to do. I don't think Ritter fits what he wants to do. I think Carson Strong makes the most sense here. We're going to go Carson Strong at 23. I think he's just going to take the prospect. I don't know if he trusts Jared Goff to continue that streak that he had out of last year. Dolphins are at 24. They messed out on all the centers. I still think you take best center available here in Tyler Linderbaum. I don't think that changes. They did some work on the O-line. They still need that centerpiece, though. I think Tyler Linderbaum can be that centerpiece. Panthers, 25. Panthers also probably should go Alec Lindstrom. I know I did this prior, but both of these teams have severely lost out on centerpieces. And we got 2 centerpieces in this draft, and they're very clearly just so much better than the rest. I think you still go double center for the Dolphins-Panthers at 24 and 25. 26 Patriots are here. I think they're still looking for a receiver. They want their number 1. They're looking for someone who can go number 2. Justyn Ross is absolutely tempting. You're still tempted probably by Garrett Wilson. I mean, Ross just complements Gallup so much better as a difference at receiver. I think we're going to go Justyn Ross for the Patriots at 26 here. Starting to pick up the pace a little. Broncos are picking again at 27. So they're in an interesting spot. They could go QB. I don't think they will. They like Sam Darnold. They just traded for him. They still got Drew Lock there. Receiver's not an issue. Noah Fant's not here anymore. He's traded him away. I think he came up and he's got his eye on Jalen Wydermyer. He got the one defensive piece he was really looking for. He paid the money for the rest of them. Let's go get Jalen Wydermyer and let's go get Sam Darnold a new target at tight end. Saints, 28. Now I think the Saints consider, okay, let's go tackle now, right? Charles Cross is still there. He's been a steady riser. Evan Neal's gone. You could go Cade Mays, but I think you're fine on the interior. Yeah, just go Charles Cross. I'm not going to consider anything else other than here. They really need to hit on these really expensive positions with how tight that cap is, and getting a tackle in the draft will help alleviate some of that cap. Titans are at 29. They're a bit of an interesting spot, too. They paid their linebackers. I did originally consider a quarterback here for them. And Karlaftis is still on the board. I think he does run a 3-4 now, or a 4-3, pardon me. Yeah, and if Karlaftis is still here, you just take him. You take George Karlaftis. This worked out quite well for them. They run that kind of 3-edged kind of set. You can kind of bring them out, rotate guys in and out, make sure they don't get too hurt. I think he's a player there if you're in the Titans spot this low down. I don't think you can pass him up. Buccaneers are up next. I don't think they'll be looking edge this time. Corner could be a tempting piece for them. Josh Jobe does fit what they want to do. They could be looking at moving corners eventually, knowing they can't pay them. They got the receiving game back together. They lost out on Wydermyer, unfortunately. I think that's what they would have liked here. Running back would be tempting, but they signed James Conner. I think they know they'll just stick with it if it really comes down like this. I think we'll go Josh Jobe. Solid corner. He can learn for a year. You're not forced to shove him out there. Smart player coming from under Nick Saban. Can't go wrong. Washington football team is up next. They've got a couple things they could do. Landon Collins is probably going to get cut here. Kind of looking around. I mean, Tyke Smith and Brandon Joseph kind of fit some of what they want to do. Corner is still a problem, though. Ahmad Gardner is here. They like running that zone now. That actually, I think, is way more valuable to them. I think after trading back up, getting Ahmad Gardner, yeah, I don't think you can pass that up. Thinking about this, we're going to go Ahmad Gardner. Hello, Chuggins. How's it going? We're just coming to the end of the stream here. We're now finishing with the Packers at 32. Packers got a couple spots they can go. They could be tempted by safety. Corner is tempting. Sevyn Banks is still there. Linebacker. I don't think they go linebacker here. I think they lost out on that. Tight end, they would have liked Wydermyer here, but he's gone. They got that receiving prospect early. I don't think there's anyone on the D line that tempts them enough. They went and traded for Quincy Roche, who had a big breakout this year. So if they didn't, I think a Nagbar would have been tempting here, but I don't think it's as tempting anymore. Zach Harrison kind of falling in this draft, but I think that is a potential thing he can fall. I don't know if they'll go O-line because that is a more cheap thing they can do. They kind of got their tackles in Billy Turner and I'm forgetting the guy's name right now. Bakhtiari. There we go. You got your receiver. I don't think they'll go quarterback. Yeah, I don't think you pass up on Sevyn Banks. If the corners have kind of fallen this way, I don't think you as the Packers pass up on Sevyn. One of the few last guys with a round 1 to 2 grade here. I think that makes the most sense. So, as for guys we're seeing kind of slip, I mean, a lot of the safeties and O-linemen are slipping. Darion Kendrick slipped out. I think that has potential that 1 or 2 of these corners slips out of the draft. Our top 32. Nick Benito slipped out. I think that's very likely. I think we will see some of these edge players slip as well, considering how many there are. Although I think they'll be taken quite quickly with that later down the draft board. The centers have basically been depleted until Patterson, so that makes sense. You still have a lot of grad prospects here, tackle prospects. Wasn't really anyone too tempting at tight end. Past Wydermyer, I think, for most of these teams. I think most of them will stay where they are. There's still good receivers on the board. I think that is potential. If people start taking some of the more thin positions, I think the urge to take those thin positions will increase, and they will take those early. So I think we'll start seeing some of these more deep positions start to fall. And in this world, Emory Jones and Desmond Ridder have fallen to the second round. I think that is very likely. Emory Jones is a prospect. Desmond Ridder fits a very specific skill set, and even then, you got to question how high is his ceiling really due to our draft. I think I'm quite happy with this. I'm quite happy with what this looks like. With very little change-ups. I know I'm not intentionally going, okay, we'll go this way if they take the 20% option instead of what I think is 80% most likely. I went mostly what I think with what is most likely here. But as we get closer to draft day, I'll start doing some more stuff like that. Like, okay, well, what if the Texans go the 20% chance they take Malik Willis first? I'll do some more mocks coming up to it. We got 2 days until draft day. Very exciting. All right, I will see you all later. Good night.